Okay, yeah. Hi, guys, and welcome to the $1 Million Mindset. It's my goal and vision with this program to be bringing to you each and every week value around mindset, health, and happiness. And so today I've got a very special guest, which I'll get into in a second, but I just wanted to give you a quick backstory on this person and why I've chosen him to be on the podcast with us today and why that's important for you. So last week we had guest Ryan Madges. If you haven't seen that episode, definitely go back and give it a look. But Ryan's a very successful guy who's, had a very different pathway, which I think we can all get a lot of value from. But the reason why I've chosen this guest today is because I think you're going to find him very relatable in the sense that he is the regular Australian guy who has, I guess, we can all relate to in a sense of some of which he's going to share with us in a second in terms of where he was at before and where he's at now. And in the space of 7 days, and this is why it's so exciting to have Nathan on here today, in the space of 7 to 14 days, he's just completely revolutionized his life. And so whilst he's in amongst this really powerful stage, I want to get him on and share him with you guys so you can really understand what was it that took him from A to B so that you guys can apply those same things, but really understand that literally like I did this and Nathan's done this, and there's a bunch of other guys that I've been chatting to recently that I've been doing some work with that are also doing amazing things. And it's not about fancy people, doing these amazing things. It's about regular people like you and me and Nathan here who are literally just taking life by the balls and applying some certain principles and getting amazing results. So without further ado, I'm going to bring to you and introduce you to our guest today, Mr. Nathan Wilson. Nathan, say hello to the listeners.
Hey, listeners. How you all doing? Hope you're doing good out there. Scotty, brother, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good, mate. So first of all, thanks for jumping on today, Nate. This is a bit of an impromptu. Yeah, it's a bit of an impromptu session. I had another guy lined up, Adam, who's going to be on in a couple of weeks' time, but Nathan took on the courage and the challenge to actually jump on here today and just have a chat. It's going to be raw. It's going to be awesome. So let's get straight into it. So pretty much I'll give you guys a bit of a backstory. Nathan and I were friends growing up, and we were running amok around a little town called Shepparton in country Victoria.
Definitely.
And yeah, 100%. And we can go into some funny stories later, but I just want to put it out there that, I guess, had a bit of a life change, and Nathan and I didn't necessarily see each other as much, but then only rekindled kind of a close relationship the last year or so. And in that process, we've been having some conversations. He's been liking some of my videos on Instagram and Facebook. And that's where we started communicating about like kind of mindset, health, what I've done, what is possible for him. And then since then, in the last couple of weeks, it's actually jumped on and we've been doing some work together, and which is now why I want to share with him to you and ask him some questions so that you guys can see how quickly things can turn around for you guys. So Nathan, my first question for you is, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk back about when you were younger. What kind of like, if you go back to that person, and it might be challenging because you've done this big transformation now, but how did you kind of look at life? What was your mindset around your work and family and just generally just life and what's possible in life?
Yeah, straight away, man. Well, I definitely came from a great family, like loving family, that's for sure. Like the parents were great, but I was always drilled into my head, like, look, obviously school didn't work out too good for me. I was a bit of a troublemaker, I would say. Like, I don't know, just couldn't really sit still. I suppose I was just like a normal young kid, just wanted to be outside running around, like, having fun. But definitely it was drilled into my head from a young age for sure, from my parents. Like, they've definitely worked hard their life, but obviously work hard just to get by and pay the bills, you know what I mean, and keep food in the cupboard. But definitely drilled to, look, once you're going to leave school, you need to get an apprenticeship. Obviously, this is going to be your career. Like, this is what you have to do. So straight away, like from 16, I jumped out, got a plastering apprenticeship, as you'd know, Scotty. And that was like, to me, like that was it, I suppose. Besides having the fun on the weekend and everything, it was, all right, this is what I've got to do to earn my bread and butter, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I've jumped into a plastering trade, done that for the last, now it's been like nearly 15 years, I'd say. Back plastering, a few other jobs in between, but definitely never been happy with that. Like, definitely always wanted more, but never really could see it happening. Like, I thought I missed my chance, so to speak. So,
and so can I just stop you there, Nathan, just ask you a couple of quick questions about that. So you had it in your head, like, this is what you're supposed to do. This, you had almost a subconscious kind of vision of like, this is how life is supposed to be. If you leave school early, like, what age did you leave school?
16.
16. So yeah, I left school at 17. So you left school, and I had the same program for my life. I thought I became an electrician.
Yep.
And so you've left school and you've thought to yourself, this is what I'm supposed to do. But along the way, you're how old now? 34.
Yep.
So it's been, 18 years, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? 18 years of your life where you've spent in a job that, from how I hear it now, that you kind of are grateful for, because it's allowed you to, like you said, like your family taught you, put bread on the table, put food in the cupboards, and that's allowed you to therefore, pay the bills. But along the way, you've kind of, I guess, what was it that made you feel like you wanted something more? Was it that you saw other people having more and you thought, I want to do that, but I'm not sure how to? Was it that you just didn't like your job? Like, what was 18 years you spent in this model of life that you didn't actually choose, that was kind of unconsciously, and everyone, it's not a discredit to our parents. It's literally just that most people tell us that this is what is supposed to happen in your life, and then we follow that program, but we didn't pick that program. We didn't pick that thing. And so I'm curious to know, what, throughout that 18 years, what was going through your head? Were you,
Not happy, I suppose, Scotty. At the start, man, like, definitely, like, I was like, oh yeah, like, because I believe I was good at my job for sure. I got along with the boys at work, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is cool, so to speak. But just, man, over the 18 years, I'd say not happy, like 100%, not happy. Like, getting up for work was a struggle, was an effort. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here we go. Same thing, like, new houses, new scenery, but still the same thing day in and day out. I mean, not meeting new people, so to speak, not being able to dress my best. Wearing and
do you feel that, you said before, and I know, like, we both came from that background of partying, and, I was definitely an ex-party boy and all the rest of it. And I still want to have fun. But, like, what I noticed for myself, and maybe you can relate, is that when my life wasn't as much joy and excitement, I found that joy and excitement on the weekends.
Yeah, 100%.
Through partying. Do you feel like you relate to that, and that's a similar story for you?
Spot on. Worked for the weekend for a long time, that's for sure. Obviously, that's when you catch up with friends and, let your hair down, so to speak. And nightlife, especially in Melbourne, coming down to Melbourne to the city to party up, as to speak.
And so, like, I guess what I see, I've always studied people, and I used to wonder, like, how, looking back at Shepparton and looking back at all lots of different country towns, like, what is the thing that keeps people going through that pattern for you for 18 years? That's a big chunk of life to be, not just for you. I mean, I'm speaking this to the listeners, whereby they could be, and this is why it's so valuable for you to be on here today, right? I can have the most successful people, but if that's not where someone is, they're not even thinking about being successful. They're just trying to get by, right? They're just trying to survive. And so that's why this story is so valuable. Imagine if you were on the other side going, oh, that's me. That's how I'm living. Maybe I could change too. So, I mean, like, I guess the next question is, at what point did you, did that voice that's inside you saying, I want more, did that get louder? Or did you squash that down? Did you just say, you know what, this is just my life now and this is just how it is?
Accepted. Yep, 100%, Scotty. It definitely got quieter for me from a young age. I think I had it in my head very bad that, I'm going to do something, I'm going to be someone for sure. I'm 17 till probably 25, 26, even, getting to about the 28 age, say, for example. like thinking, yeah, it's still, you know, I'm going to do something, but then that voice definitely just got quieter and quieter. And I actually remember having a
Really?
conversation with my parents, like saying,
Yeah.
like, look, I'm sorry I've let you down. Like, you know, like I know you expected more from me. I expected more from myself, but I'm accepting what's happened now, and I'm just going to go to work, do my best, pay my bills, get the bread and butter on the table, so to speak. And just accept. It was very sad, man. Like it was a very down time to do that. Like especially now, like with you for the last few weeks. Like, wow, I couldn't believe it. So, but I suppose we'll get to that part. But I know if anyone's out there and they're feeling like their time's up, like, you know, no, this is it. Definitely, it's not it. Definitely not. You get some rituals happening, and you can change your life.
Yeah. And so I just want to go back, and sorry to be a Debbie Downer here, but it's just really trying to tap into what the mindset was. So like, okay, you've had this really upsetting, sad conversation with your parents, apologizing to them about where you're at, which just shows how much guilt and shame that you felt, you know, on a deeper subconscious level for not being where you thought you needed to be. And so like, once you'd made that, before that point of that conversation with them, did things get up till that point? After, did they get easier or harder? How did you feel like a little bit of yourself broke that day, or did you feel like it was easier because you'd accepted, or what was your situation there?
Shattered, Scotty, for sure. Definitely a lot down. I suppose I'd even say a bit of depression kicking in then, you know what I mean? Started like drinking a bit more alcohol, not looking after myself, because I'd always play sports from a young age, like being pretty active, but I was just like, I think I was
giving up.
Yeah, 100%. So I was just like, I was stopping. I was grabbing beers on the way home from work, like more beers, like getting home, just playing the Xbox or whatever, just killing time in my room. You know what I mean? Just doing stuff all, man. Just
not living, just surviving.
Not living, no way. Definitely not. Just thinking this is it. Just settling for this, and it felt shit, man. Like honestly, it didn't feel good at all. But I thought that was it.
Well, I'd just like to jump in again and like, so what I don't know if you remember this, but what happened was, like, for me, I've learned to become really, to trust my intuition. If I feel attracted or a magnetism towards something, then I really go all in. I really am quite pushy sometimes when I go all in. It could be anything. Like I was telling a story about to somebody before about this book that I found. It's a long story, so I won't get into it now. But essentially what I was going to say was, for you, was, I don't know if you remember this, but when I got engaged to Renee, my partner, I think you sent me like a photo. I hadn't spoken to you in ages, and you sent me like a photo of me. Do you remember this? You sent me a photo of me like being a kid, and you said something like, I'm going to be there at your wedding, and like, I'm going to, something like that. And I just, it honestly, because I've been just constantly trying to run away from the fear of being not great, I guess. I feel like a fear of just being normal. That was my fear. I want to do something that's amazing. And one of my old patterns was, I'm not good enough. So everything I've done is to prove to other people, you know, subconsciously, not on purpose, but that how good I am, you know, whether it was the modeling or the DJing or whether it was starting, you know, PT was definitely more of an alignment thing, but others, you know, and all these other things are things I wanted to do, but I didn't realize deeply. But when you sent me that message, I felt an instant, what the point I was making was that I forgot about a lot of things, and I forgot about a lot of people too, to be honest, which, you know, I apologize to you about, but I was, you know, that message made me like instantly connect back with you again. And then I want, like, it really, like a magnetism, I felt like such a powerful connection to want to be around you and to want to build back a friendship with you. And it didn't happen straight away, but I felt like as soon as we reconnected, that it's been like almost like that time hadn't been apart.
Yeah,
and so is that, you know, it was just funny.
That's awesome, man. Honestly, like I said, I heard you're getting engaged and everything, and honestly, man, like obviously we're very close as we were younger, man. All us boys, you know that.
Yeah.
For sure. And honestly, man, in our eyes, you're always great, bro. That's for sure. No matter what you've done. you always just tried everything, but like that was
Yeah.
you know. Man, after like definitely reconnecting and seeing what you've done and where you're getting, man, like hats off to you for sure. But
Oh, thanks,
back to
man. I appreciate it.
what you're saying is I actually messaged like everyone from like who we used to hang around with, all the parties we used to go to, like trying to get photos, man, because I had this plan to
You
get
kidding?
get a big photo book happening, just like so I could bring it up at your wedding.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's the best thing that we've done, man, like for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like started like talking on Facebook and that again.
Yeah.
And yeah, just seeing like your progression was like so
Yeah.
inspiring,
Yeah.
man. And I was happy for you. Like generally, I was still thinking
Yeah.
I was doing it now, but I was happy for you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
And I guess I did a post on Instagram yesterday. It was like Are You Okay Day a couple of days ago, and Mental Health Awareness Day the day before. And you know, I did a post just saying like not a lot of people realize, because I'm such a outgoing, happy person on the outside, how much I was actually struggling constantly on the inside. Like I had depression like 3-4 times. I had 5 or 6 different failed businesses or different things that I've tried. I've just, you know, like you said, tried lots of things. But, you know, what's been really cool about reconnecting is that there's something to say about, you know, your old friends and how that kind of has a big part to play in, I guess, who you are when you reconnect with someone on that level. It's just something else. But okay, so what I want to do is we'll move on now. So that's basically where you've come from. You know, 16, left school. All right, unhappy, given up in your life, didn't really see much of a future besides just, you know, working the day to day and just living for the weekend and all that type of stuff. Then let's fast forward. So we started having some conversations at the start of the year. We started doing some coaching together, and then, you know, we had a bit of a break. We had a bit of time off. I was doing some of my stuff. You were doing some of yours. And then we rekindled again at Joel's Bucks, and then had some more conversations since then. So I want to fast forward to 2 weeks ago we spoke, and I said, all right, Nath, I'm going off like a firecracker, and I want to bring you with me type thing. And like, you know, just we're going to do this type thing. I'd like to know, like, I felt personally, for me as my friends, like I want everyone. I honestly just believe in everyone. And I think if I can fucking do something, then anyone can do it, right? Because I know how much I've struggled. That was the context of why I was speaking about that. And I think like anyone can do this, if they just apply the same things. Like I've been studying people. That's why I wanted to start the $1 Million Mindset podcast, because it's really just about tapping into people who have done the stuff that you want to do and just copying them, really, in a sense, and just making it right for you. But so I felt quite almost like this level of almost like guilt for wanting to like have something that, you know, I'm trying to get. It's coming from an authentic place, but I felt as a person just a little bit of guilt for actually, you know, then anyone might actually think that I'm doing it for the wrong reasons and whatever else. So I would like to know from you, what was your, like, with Reese most recently, how did you feel about this process where a couple of weeks ago we had this reignition of this conversation about doing some work together? Where was your mind at, is what I'm saying?
Well, straight away, I'll say this for starters. Just from, like you're saying, like we started catching up and everything from Joel's Bucks and all that, just seeing the level you were on and how you were as how you perceived yourself, so to speak, like just how you were.
What do you mean by that? Like, because just for the listeners, you know what you're talking about, but like for them, what do you actually mean in detail? Like, because I'm not anywhere near where I want to be success-wise, but do you mean my personality or my confidence or my what do you?
Definitely your confidence, your personality, everything, Scotty. I just think, because like I said, you've done your courses, you've done so much, man, to better yourself as a person. Like I said, we had some chats too, like just to, you knew where I was. I think you could see where I was compared to how I used to be.
Well, yeah.
Then when it came up, like, you know, that you were doing this, you could help me. Like you believed you could help me for sure. And I was skeptic for starters, definitely.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's why I wanted to ask you, because there's a lot of other skeptics out there. In fact, Jamie, who's also doing you know, he's like, look, I'm a skeptic. I get it, and I'm on board, and I'm jumping in because I've got nothing else that's going for me at the moment. But I'm super. He told me straight up. He said I'm super skeptical. So talk about that.
Oh, 100%. I was thinking, no way, no. You know what I mean? Like, what? I'm going to have to, like, jump in this course, and what, you're going to give me a few little things to do?
Hold on. You just broke up, Nath.
Yeah, you there?
Nath, you're just breaking up a bit there, buddy. Can you just
good,
say
man?
that again? You've just broken up a bit. Just restart from the start. Thanks, mate.
Well, like I was saying, just very skeptical at the start.
Yeah. So were you skeptical of the things that I was talking about possibly getting you to do, like gratitude and like meditation and stuff like that?
Definitely, man. The gratitude and the meditation for sure. But as you know now with my messages, meditation is my new best friend. Like meditating to me now is just next level. It's like.
And how long did it take you to get from A to B? A couple of days, a week?
A week. I'd say a week. I'd say 1 week of doing my morning rituals and the meditation. Oh man, just like just thinking positive. Like now reading this book, like it's been 2 weeks in total, and I swear to God, like the outlook I have now and like the plans that I have for the future, like just visualizing my future is. I'm excited. Like the excitement isn't even the big enough word for me to say.
So you've made this decision. You said, I know that I need to change. I'm skeptical about whether this is going to work, but I'm willing to try it anyway.
100%.
So let's, what do you feel has, like, speak about this change. So for the people that are out there that don't know what you've been doing, and I don't want this to be a thing about me or what I do. I want it to be about you and how you've been able to grow, so that people aren't thinking that this is some sort of a plug, that it's really, I wanted to get that. What have you been doing differently? What's your mindset been differently? What's your outlook on life? And so, just speak on where you were day one, or when you've made that decision, and then go through like a bit of a process of the last week or two in terms of what sorts of tangible, what you've been actually doing, but also what tangible things, like we were speaking the other day about how you've been, reading, which you've never done before, and you've been like, just the actions that you've been taking, how this has affected all the other parts of your life.
All right. Well, for starters, obviously I'm getting up now and to do my morning rituals. Just been writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for as soon as I wake up. Then I'll do my meditation for just the 10 to 12 minutes a day. Let's go here though, for starters, sorry. At the start, like thinking that I had to do this, allow an extra half an hour of my morning before work.
Yeah, so I'm saying, hey, you've got to give up half an hour of your morning.
Exactly. So I've got to get up.
You've got to get up earlier.
Yeah, start at 6, like so to speak. Usually start at 6. So I have to get up like extra early to an extra half hour. Once you told me that, I was like, no way, how am I going to do this? Like for sure. But after the first week of getting up that extra half hour early and just doing the ritual, so to speak, my mind frame is just, it's blown me away. Like it's just, I'm at work. I'm a happier person at work.
So your life has not changed one bit. Not one bit, but
half an hour earlier.
That's the distinction, right? That you thought that you needed to change your life to be happier, but you changed yourself, and your life didn't. That the happiness was there.
It's the mindset for sure. Listening to the motivational videos every morning now.
And in hindsight, and I know for myself, would you say that having not gone through this process that 6 months ago, and the listeners, they're probably going, yeah, whatever. Do you think if I had told you to do certain things, we don't have to go through them, but you just think, what a crock of shit? Is that 100%. What you think? Yeah. So 100%. Now so what was the difference to getting you to actually do it though? Because these guys might be listening going, yeah, okay, well, I get it. But like you said, okay, 1 second you're saying, I think it's a crock of shit. The next second you've made a decision to do it, but you didn't have to do it. And a lot of people say they're going to do something and don't do it. So talk to me about that. Why did you end up doing it? What did you do to get yourself out of bed each morning? What was your mindset? What did you tell yourself?
I just thought in my head, just simple, like look, I'm not happy where I am right now. So I could see how you were, and like that was a big thing. So I was like, I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to give this whole course a chance and just see like what's the worst I've got to lose at. Like for sure, like I'm not happy where I am now, like where life's taken me. So I'm going to give this thing a shot. Like I said, I was like, all right, I'm going to actually like dedicate myself, like give 110%, just
fully commit.
So I'll do exactly. I'll commit just for a week, even. Let's just see if anything happens. So I've done it for the first week, man, and I could just see like straight away, like just the difference in my attitude, just the difference in how I'm feeling, like for the day, like actually smiling again, like you know, what I mean, just talking to randoms at work. I work in the construction industry now, but there's a lot of people like on the job, so just saying hello to like random people walking past, like, how you going, mate? Like, you know what I mean? Just just you know, I put my head up higher, just maybe my chest out a bit, like. Just I just noticed that after the first week, I'm like, wow, oh my God, all right, let's just keep doing this. And then, as you know, I started reading this book. Now you got me onto this book, and that's just like opened the eyes even more.
Yeah. So fast forward week 1 to week 2. So week 1 is you've given it a shot.
Yep.
You've gone against your skepticism and you've committed to doing it for a week. Week 1, at the end of week 1, you're feeling amazing.
Yep.
And if you were to give yourself a score out of 10 before you started doing these actions and habits, because it's all just about having certain habits. That's what I think is so cool, right? Anyone at any time can be anywhere. They do these habits and their life's going to change. Their feeling about their life's going to change. Their happiness is going to change. So before you started doing these habits, how would you have scored your happiness out of 10?
Oh, Jesus, a 5. Let's say a 5.
A 5. Okay. How would you have... Yeah.
Happy
and how would
home.
Yeah.
You're right.
And how would you have scored your passion and your drive?
Oh, Jesus, 3, 2, like for sure. It was just, it was gone. It was gone.
And how would you score your energy?
Shit, 2.
A 2. So happiness around a 5, because you were taught to be grateful from young, which is great. But then a 2 or a 3 for passion and drive. Yeah. And so, okay. And then so fast forward to the end of week 1. Let's talk about tangibles. So how was you after 7 days? Let's just talk about those 3 things. What was your happiness level out of 10?
After the first week?
Yeah, first week.
I'd say a 7.
A 7. So you went up 2. Awesome. What was your drive and your passion like? What was your drive like?
Definitely up to a 7.
Awesome. And so you went up 5 points there. And what about your drive? Like the actual, yes, I'm doing stuff, I'm going to crush it type thing.
I'd say the first week I was at a 7, like a nice 7.
A 7 across the board. So you've gone from around 2s up to 7 from 7 days.
Yep, 7 days. Yeah,
okay, awesome.
7 days, 7.
And so on day 7, you're reflecting back on your week. How did you feel about yourself?
That's when, after looking back at that week and what I've done and seeing, like, you know, like, oh my God, like I'm doing this and look how I'm feeling. Yep. Second week, let's go. That was like, I said I was giving 100% in week 1. Well, week 2, it's like 200%. Like, all right, let's go. Let's hit gym every day. I'll be 6 days a week. Let's start eating properly. Let's just
So
the drive jumped to a 10 for sure, because I was just very driven.
Yeah. So your drive jumped to a 10 almost like on day 8. Yeah. So it was really not even at the end of the thing. What was your happiness like on day 8?
Yeah, I reckon it's all jumped to the 10.
So 7 days is 7. Day 8 is you're at a 10 across the board.
Yep.
So in 8 days, your whole fucking life changed.
Yeah, 100%. That's spot
on. How cool is that? And so,
very cool.
And so, I mean, it's hard to say anything after that, but now it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now, yes, okay, you've got drive, you've got happiness, and your life, your job hasn't changed, your home hasn't changed, your income has not changed. Nothing has changed.
Nothing changed
except for your mind, except for your mindset and some habits that you took on each day. So you spend half an hour a day doing some mindset routines.
Yep. Which I look forward to now.
Which you look forward to.
That was the hardest thing I've done, but now I look forward to it.
Yeah.
That's the start.
And so now it's been 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks, I think. What day is it today? Sunday.
Yep.
So it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yep.
And so besides your happiness, your drive, and your energy, let's talk about actually your future. What was your, before you started, what was your perception of what was possible for you before you started doing these habits?
Yeah.
What was your perception? What would you say to yourself in your head?
Save a little bit of coin, get a house loan, have a family, and just pay off the mortgage.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But how did you feel about that model?
Oh, I just thought, here we go. I've got to do this job that I don't like for the rest of my life, just to put the roof over my head and my family's head. And
how many hours do you work a week?
Oh, I'll do at least, I'd say 50. Say 50. Couldn't have said
50 hours a week for the next, 30, 40 years you were going to do?
Yeah. Shit.
But you'd accepted that?
Accepted it. Thought I had to. My mindset was I thought I had to accept it.
Yeah. So 50 years, let's times that by 50 hours, times that by 40 years. Let's say you do it until you're 64.
Yep.
Sorry, so that'd be, is that right? What did I say? You're 34, 40, that'd be 74. Let's just call it 30 years, right?
Yes, right.
So that's like 600,000 hours. Is that right? Or is it 6? No, it's more like 6 million hours.
Oh, Jesus. Cool, eh?
Now, it's not about, but yet you're going to work each day and you're enjoying yourself, but your work hasn't changed.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm doing the same job and I'm happy. Yeah, I'm very happy.
So now let's fast forward. I mean, it's comical to us because we're on the other side of the fence now, because I was like that too. But for someone else, and they're going, well, but hold on a second, I'm different, People have got different situations, but it's not about your circumstances. It's all about your mindset. And that's what you're getting in that book. By the way, the book that Nathan's reading is by a guy named David Schwartz, and it's called The Magic of Thinking Big.
That's the one. That's the one right there.
I'll tell the listeners a quick story about that in a second. But okay, right. So we're happy, we're driven, we're 10 out of 10. Yep. What's your perception now at day 13 on what's possible for you, your life, your family, your happiness, your adventure, your joy? Talk to me.
So much more now. My goals have gone from here right up here now. Like, definitely.
And what makes you think you deserve those?
Oh, just simple. I do deserve it. Everyone deserves it. I think. So simple. Of course. We all deserve greatness in our lives, I believe, or just to be happiness, I would say. Yeah. If you want it, you can definitely get it. Like, it's not as hard as you think. I think, like I said, the mindset's just there. But I've definitely got goals and visions again now. As you know, I'm going to try and launch my own online business in the next coming months, which I'm going to jump into.
Awesome.
And
how do you feel if things going to get rocky? Like, let's say in business, the number one thing you can rely on is that it's not going to go to plan always. And so how do you feel in terms of, even just after just 13 days, how do you feel that you'll go into that process? Do you think, like, what's your mindset going to be?
Get back on the horse. Of course, like you said, life's not like this all the time. It's not like this all the time. It's like this. Like, simply, you just ride the waves as it comes. So right now I'm at a very good place. So I'm going to take that while I can, like, for sure. But I know things always change. It's life. It's what happens. So, but now with the mindset that I believe I'm getting, and which I've got, like, thank you, Scotty, I'm going to ride them lower waves, like the bottom waves, a lot better now. So I'm prepared to fail. Like, simply, if I fail, I'm just going to try again. If I fail, try again. Fail, try again. Simple, brother. That's it. I know.
You can't,
It's not.
So what would you say? What would you say to some people who go, well, I don't believe that. I think that you're just on a positive high and you're flying on some voodoo waves. Like, what do you, I mean, and you're not there yet, but, like, from your perspective, right? You're not a guru yet. You're not, super successful yet, like, contrasting to maybe Ryan, who we had last week. And I'm not there yet either. I'm just on the journey, right? I'm just here to share and contrast these different mindsets for myself and for the listeners. So for you, I mean, what's your, again, like, what's your, how do you know that to be true? How can you know that?
Because it's all with my mindset, for sure. If I believe it, I can do it. like 100%.
Yeah.
And for anyone out there who's thinking like, yeah, you are on a positive high, whatever. Yeah, I am on a positive high right now for sure. But if you're feeling how I felt and like you're thinking that it can't be done, jump into a course, get a life coach. Like honestly, finally just spend a little bit of money on yourself instead of on all the other bullshit that we've wasted money on.
Yeah.
Just give it a go and then we'll talk. And then 100%, and apply yourself. Like definitely commit and apply yourself, and then we can talk because it's unbelievable. You want to change your life, do it. Like so you can do it. Like it's that easy. It's that easy, people. I swear to God. So it's all up here. Yeah, exactly. So just
awesome,
jump in.
Man. All right. So I'm going to ask you. So that's all, number one. Massive congratulations on you actually doing the work. A lot of people don't. And so, yeah, it's not just positive thinking. What the mindset does is it allows you to take action. So you want to lose some weight, you've got to go to the gym, you've got to get up in the morning. You want to do your mindset morning routine. You want to, if it's for business, what's really cool, and this is, I think, the conversation Nathan and I had first day one, I said, it's not about, because we discussed losing weight, right? And I always say it's not about like, the six pack isn't going to change your life. What's going to change your life is the person that you become by earning that six pack. Yeah. To me, I don't that fussed about, my body that much. I do it because I want to respect my health and I want to respect my journey, which was what I teach for you guys. And the byproduct of that is you're going to have a great body. But the real thing is that it's the discipline, it's the commitment, it's the mindset, and those things can then apply to other areas of it's having a bunch of habits. And that the reason why I was asking all those questions before is if your life's going like this through these humps and lows, and you don't have a set of systems to look after your mind, to feed your mind, to keep your mind fit and healthy like you would with your body. And there's just basic science. Like that's what I guess, we've learned as well, is that when you're doing these certain habits, there's chemical reasons why you're feeling good. And you want to, if you keep doing those habits, it's not always going to be, I'm feeling perfect. It's not that. It's not that at all. I struggle day to day, of course. Everyone does. But the difference is it only lasts a minute, or a second, or an hour, not a day, a month, or 18 years. And, so awesome, man. So you're absolutely killing it. You've got a mindset that's going to serve you for the rest of your life. And it only took you 7 to 8 to 13 days. So
can't wait for the rest. We've still got like 10 weeks left.
So awesome. So the next thing I was going to say was, okay, so let me go into my questions here. So Nathan, all right. So I don't know where I put them. All right. So this is what's going on now. I guess what advice, and you've already touched on this a little bit, but what advice would you give to somebody who is
skeptic?
Nothing's actually, not even, everyone's going to be skeptical, right? But let's say that somebody, their life isn't bad. They're actually not in a place where they really have had anything too bad, but they've also just had this feeling like what you said. There's just this something other feeling like there's something more that I'm not doing. So I guess like if you're really feeling like you're in a shit place, that's a lot of motivation to change, right?
Yep.
But if you're feeling like you're just in a neutral position, you're not killing it, you're not loving, you're not, on a vibe like what we're talking right now, but you're just in a neutral point. What do you think, do you think there's benefit for that person to, or like, what am I trying to say? Do you feel like this thing is like, you'd be preaching it to the rooftop saying, not us, but I mean, just general mindset. Like this is called the $1 million mindset. So it's my goal to teach men to appreciate how valuable their mindset is. I spoke with Ryan last week and I was telling him the story about how I spoke to this guy. He said to me that I said to him, if I gave you $1 million, would you be able to do all these things? Like you were saying, that you were really skeptical. He said, $1 million I'd be able to do it because it would change my life. And what I said to him was that $1 million won't change your life. Changing your mindset will change your life. But he couldn't see that. He couldn't see that. So I want to ask you a really important question. Would you trade your mindset right now? Now, this is a big question. Ryan, last week, he'd spent millions of dollars. So he's in a position to say, yeah, no, I wouldn't trade my mindset for $1 million. But what about you? Where you're at right now, financially, $1 million would help you massively short term.
Yep.
And maybe but let's say go back to 2 weeks ago, though, the 2 week ago you.
Yeah.
That person would really, that would change their life, possibly.
Yeah.
But who you are today, I'm actually really interested to know, would you, if I was to hand you $1 million right now and go, Nathan, here's $1 million. But if I give you this $1 million, you've got to go back to who you were 2 weeks ago and you can never do this process again.
No way. Sorry, like I know how people would how that sounds. Like honestly, even in my own head, you'd think yes, but to go back to that person I was 2 weeks ago and thinking like, yeah, this is it. No, man, I couldn't do it because I feel great. Like I said, just different outlook now.
So it's worth more. This is because that's the $1 million mindset. It's not about making millions. Yep. It's really just about valuing your mindset more than $1 million. Because what if you do that? Guess what you're going to do now? You're going to invest in books. A book costs $30 fucking, right? And people don't read books. Books, like we're doing some coaching together, right? But I've been, like what Ryan said. Ryan has invested $500,000 on his mindset. $500,000. That's why he's an amazing coach, right?
Yeah.
$500,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. I probably invested 50,000, something like that, maybe more.
Touch on that. After seeing your and Ryan's one, man, like with the meditating, and after saying like, the phone ones aren't good. No one think that they're not because they are, but now it's just pushing me like to go get some lessons because I want to do it properly now.
But it's both. Both are good. Like Ryan's, I'm actually doing a meditation course with him this week in Bali,
awesome.
and I'm super excited. And I think I'm a good meditator. I love meditating, so I'm not needing to be sold, but I'm curious as to what the next level is.
Yeah.
So I think, and I spoke about, and I spoke last week about having that balance between having greatness, striving for greatness, but also being grateful. And I can see, and maybe you can tell me what you feel, but I can see within you right now, yes, you're going for greatness now, but you're not, but you're still seeming super grateful. And that's why I think you're enjoying your job more and enjoying, because you're not hating on it anymore. You're not actually wishing you were somewhere else. You're actually just being grateful for where you are. Was that?
I'm grateful. Like you're saying, Scotty, to me, like you definitely told me, this job where I'm in now is going to get me to where I want to be. It's definitely like it's keeping the roof over our head, so to speak. It's paying for food. It's putting fuel in my car, obviously, but it's going to help invest into my business. So it's just, I'm happy to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good thing. I'm lucky to have it, really, so to speak. Like, I'm grateful. Here comes the gratitude again. I'm very grateful.
Have a look at his face. So okay, so this show is called The Million. Yeah. So and I just remind me of something. So before you're in survival mode, now you're in thrival mode. Is that what you would describe it?
Yeah, for sure. Hold on.
So this program is called the $1 Million Mindset, and so you've heard it first. Once again, we've had contrasting people. Last week, someone who's made millions and millions of dollars, is a coach himself, and has invested all this money. And I took him up to about $100 million, and he wouldn't trade his mindset for $100 million. So if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, oh, I don't want to read a book, or I don't want to invest in a coach, or I don't want to do a seminar. Like I spent $3,000 or $4,000 to go to a Tony Robbins seminar a couple of years ago, and it changed my life. But it was only a weekend, right? And so I learned a lot, and it did make a big shift. But it's having that longer process that makes a big difference. So I'm actually doing, I paid $20,000 to do a 12-month course with Ryan.
Yeah, man.
And so like, that was a huge investment, but I'm 9 months through, and it has that $20,000, that will turn into a lot more. And forget the money, just my actual happiness.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm droning on about and pushing this point is because you've heard it from Nathan here today as well. Someone who, he's not in a position to just throw $1 million away.
I want $1 million. That's my goal. I want $1 million. So come on, if someone's offering me $1 million, you think I'll take it?
So 13 days in, someone offers him $1 million, and I know we're just talking about it, but you can see in his face that he would not take that money. He'd want to, but he'd know in himself that $1 million is nothing compared to how much value he has. And if you guys can learn from this, if you guys can really, really get past, you know, all of the other skepticisms, oh, Scott's got his client on, there must be some sort of a ploy or anything like that. The reason why I put Nathan on here today is because I knew that you guys were going to get so much value out of being able to see how anyone, anywhere, anytime can literally change their life. And Nathan's a perfect example of that. It takes action, it takes belief, and it takes really having someone, okay, either through following a book, there's amazing books, going to a seminar, finding a life coach, doing a program. There's so many things you can do, but whatever you do, you have to take some action and commit to following that thing through. So this is the $1 Million Mindset, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Nathan, for actually having the courage to jump on today. I don't think maybe a few weeks ago he would have been as keen, but I've caught him on a good high. So I know it can be a little bit scary to do something like this, but it just shows that that's where you're at right now. So massive congratulations to you, man. I know you're going to do really, really well. And I've told you every day how proud of I am. I'm constantly just seeing you step up, step up, step up. And that's why you're getting such amazing results. It's humbling.
Can't thank you enough, man. You've changed my life. I swear to God. And we'll be back on here for another podcast in the future.
We will. Nathan, when he's made his first million, he'll be going, yes. So yeah, thanks again, guys. If you guys have any other people that you would really like to find out what their mindset is, anyone, if you think that you've got a mindset that people could value from, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email is scott@couchtocourage.com. And I'd love to hear your feedback about about these podcasts. Anything you can want to do. This is still early days, and we want to make this the #1 podcast in Australia. Big call right now, but I'm putting it out there. This is something that needs to be shared. There's a lot of men that are struggling out there, and I think being able to see interviews like this with Nathan here today, if someone else could catch themselves, what I've seen from the people that I've talked to from all ages all around Australia, 20 years on, if Nathan hadn't made a decision, that's someone who's in a dangerous position. That's someone who is not being healthy, and that's someone happy, and that's someone who has a high chance of going into things like depression. And these are real things that are going on in Australia. Just before I let you go, without wanting to leave it on a negative note, as a male, it's the #1 killer in Australia between the ages of 17 and 42 is suicide. And this week being Mental Health Week and Are You Okay and all that stuff, I just really want to send a message to anyone that's struggling out there to say, reach out to someone. Get some help, speak to someone. You've seen Nathan, you know, not also struggling with depression. I struggle with depression. It's okay where you're at right now, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So definitely, you can do this. You can change your life. You can have things that are going to happen for you that are going to be better. And so, yeah, that's it from us today, guys. Thanks again, Nathan. And I'll speak to you guys all again next week with a new guest. And like, share, and